Well, hello everyone. It's time for a new tool. This time it's another painting tool. What I have is something that's quite interesting. Saw this a few weeks ago, months in fact. I've been speaking to the suppliers, but now it's actually on the store. Now, what it is maybe a slightly different way for us to put paint down, maybe in larger quantities. If you have a large space to paint, obviously you could use normal decorating brushes if you want to do that. I guess I'm talking to you guys that make very large layouts, you train enthusiasts. And maybe anyone else is using larger brushes to put down large amounts of material for fairly sizable dioramas. Now, of course, you can just use larger brushes, like these things. These are on the store at the moment. It's a larger head, but of course, it's kind of still too small for some applications. So what do? Well, you just look for a larger brush. But what if you could put it on with a roller? But what if the roller was much smaller than the rollers that you're thinking of, and also it gave you more precision and more accuracy? And that's what I want to show you today. Let me just put that down for a second. Now, what they are is these. These are called Midi Rollers, and it's kind of what it says on the tin. Literally, it's a rolling system, which is more designed for us model makers. And anybody else that wants to get more precision and more accuracy when putting down larger amounts of paint and other materials, because these aren't just for paint. You can use these to put down glues, resins, epoxies. You can even put maybe a top coat, a gloss on these. So if you are, for instance, someone that really hasn't got into airbrushing yet, you still do a lot of brush painting, maybe this could be ideal for you, particularly if you want to put down maybe a top coat, because this is ideal because it covers in a larger surface. So the Midi Rollers, so let's get them out of the box and I'll show you exactly what they are. So this is the mix set which I'm going to show you. There are various different iterations of this on the store, and I'll explain that a little bit later. So in the box you get a tin to keep all your rollers in. You get a couple of handles, and don't forget this is the mix set, so you get two of those, and you also get an extra set of rollers, and I'll explain that in a second. So let me put that down for a second. So ultimately what it is, it's a mini roll set, just as if you were a decorating set. Let me just show you one of the rollers itself. So that's a roller. Now these are Teflon coated. These aren't just a piece of sponge which has been cut to size and that's it. These have actually been coated with Teflon. You'll see that on the description on the actual site. Now the reason for that is the design of these is that the paint adheres to the Teflon surface with static. So you aren't in effect putting the paint into a roller, into the actual sponge, as you would say with a decorating roller. If you were decorating your house, for instance, we've all had hours trying to get the paint out of rolls because the paint sunk into the actual foam itself. These don't do that, and I'll show you a paint test in a second. These are Teflon coated, and that's what keeps the paint on the surface, but it does adhere to these without any problems. But as I say, it's not just paint. You could put epoxy resins on this, glues, any kind of solvent-based as well if you want to do that, and I guess gloss coats and any kind of a top coat that you want to as well. These are ideal for that. As I said, this is a kind of, it's called the mix set, but I'd kind of call it a starter set because you kind of get everything in the range. So you get a box to keep these in, and you get three sizes. So there's that one. Let me get the small one out, and there's also another set of these. Now, if you look at the actual size of these rollers in comparison, that's kind of what you sort of see as the size difference. Now, what the manufacturers call these different sizes. One's a mini, one's a midi, and one's a maxi. And this is obviously the maxi is the biggest one. Sorry, that's the maxi. Let me just show you like that. So I'll put them on my bench. There you go. So that's the actual different sizes. So that's a mini, that's a midi, and that's a maxi. Yeah, so that's the three sizes of roller you can actually get. This is the starter set, but you can actually buy a mini roller set in each of these individual sizes. So if you did have an application for just the mini, you can buy the mini and you get everything else. You get the tin, you get a handle, put in that size. And again, if you want a midi and if you want a maxi, you can buy those separately, and there are refill packs for these on the site as well. So what you do is use one of these nifty little shafts. You'll notice it's got a magnet in the end. So for instance, this is designed for a mini. So let's put the whoops, that's the wrong way around. Let's put that in there like that. So that secures the actual mini roller itself, and then you choose a handle and snap it in, and you see and the magnet holds it in place. That's how you do it. And if you wanted a larger size, for instance, this one is for the that's for the midi, and also for the maxi size. And so let's put this into the largest one, and you can see how that goes in. And again, there's two sizes of handle, as you'll notice. These are for the mini and the midi, and that's for the maxi for obvious reasons, because the actual shaft is longer. So for this one, for instance, then it goes in like that, and that's how these attach with, and you can feel the magnet in there. To get these out, you just literally push, and then you just push and pull these out, and that's how they actually attach to each of the rollers. Let me put the mini one back on. So that's kind of how you actually use it in your hand. It's long enough to give you a lot of purchase as you're rolling this thing, but it also gives you the control you're looking for. You'll hear that word a lot on these videos. A lot of control or precision. You can kind of see how you would be able to do that with this, particularly with the mini. If you had a very small scale model, or you were building dioramas or layouts that you needed to put some material down, but full size roller just isn't going to work. Ideally, you want something smaller. Well, this kind of solves that issue for you. So let's actually show you putting some paint down. So let me just move these over here for a second. So what I'll do is I'll just use this bit of plastic card, just so it's as an example. Now, what I'm using is one of these pallets. You can get these off Amazon if you don't have a pallet already. Easily available. These probably be coming to the store at some point, so you can buy it all in one place. But I got this one off Amazon, and as it happens, it's just the right size for rolling. It's perfect for that. You might be wondering what this sheet over here is for. The manufacturer do give you that as a way of, I guess, taking material off when you want to clean. We'll talk about cleaning in a second. But you might want to just literally put these into water or some kind of a solvent, depending on what you're using, just to clean these off. Because don't forget, these are Teflon coated, so you aren't going to destroy these. So let's reach for some paint. As I want to make this pretty obvious how it works, I'll just use good old black from Vallejo. So let's put some of this in the palette. As I say, you out there, you DIYers who do lots of painting in your house, you'll know it's the same principle, literally. So that's a little bit too thick, I believe. So let me just put a little bit of distilled water in there. Let's do that, and let's see how that actually works. So that's well and truly coated. As you see, the paint sticks to the Teflon roller really well, and it's just static. That's how the paint actually adheres to the roller. It's a system which allows you to use different kinds of materials with this system. So that's well and truly loaded. So let's put some of this paint onto this plastic card. And that's that's how you would kind of apply this. Obviously, depending on the kind of material you're using, I mean, if that's a little bit too thick, I think I put a little bit too much water in there. But you get the idea that if you wanted to put down large areas of colour, you can do that with these mini rollers without any problems at all. And that's how it kind of goes down onto the surface. You can kind of imagine if you wanted to put large amounts of colour down on a very large scale model or any kind of large surface. These could save you a lot of time and effort. And of course, if you try to brush paint this area, that might not give you the finish you're looking for. I've even seen people use these for weathering techniques. They want to put some kind of washes on and they don't want to use a brush. They literally just roll their wash on and then gone back with a brush and then just touched up the actual surface to give the effect that they're looking for. I imagine if you were, say, trying to do say an effect on brick, for instance. I do a lot of dioramas, destroy buildings. I imagine if you wanted to paint fairly large areas of brick, for instance, these would be perfect. You could put the base colour on and then go back and then touch up the brickwork with your brushes. But you put down the base colour really quickly because this roller allows you to do that. The idea, of course, is that it's got a magnet on it, so you can pop the magnet, pop the roller off, and put the next one on if you have several colours ready. And I've done that. I've loaded this palette, for instance, with lots of different colours, and then just dipped in, roll the colour I want, and away I go. It's really good workflow if you have several colours ready. Get the size of roller you want ready, and then you can literally just dip in each colour, and away you go. Because it just saves so much time, and the finish that you're going to get is much better. I mean, don't forget, I didn't prime this, so it's obviously the actual coverage isn't what I'd be looking for. But I just wanted to demonstrate what this could be, just to put some ideas in your guys' minds how this might be really useful and applicable for you. Now, what I want to show you is cleanup as well. So what I'll do is I'll just put some water in this palette again, and let me just get a pair of gloves. So I don't want to get the paint all over me, obviously. So let me just put my gloves on, and you'll see why the Teflon coating is so important. Because what I tend to do is just roll the brush off, and you can see how that's all coming off. In fact, let me get a paper towel, so that just pulls off. And then what I do is, I haven't got most of it off, but I mean, I've just rolled that literally for what, a second or two, and you can see the paint's coming off, because the paint is not actually being absorbed by the sponge itself. It's sitting on the surface of the Teflon coating. In fact, you could even just leave these in some water if you wanted to, or if you're using solvent, just to clean these off before your next your next session. I've done that, and then just carry on getting this stuff off the surface, because it will clean off. I mean, to finish off, what I tend to do is just dip a bit of towel into the water and then just give it a clean, and eventually all that paint comes off. You can imagine if you were trying to do that with say top coat, for instance, the fact that it doesn't adhere to the surface gives you a, I guess, longevity you're looking for. You're not throwing away brushes when they become damaged. You have a system where you could use that over and over and over. So let me just put these aside without dropping this all over my workshop's floor, which wouldn't be very good. So let me just recap. Let's bring all of this over as well. So mini roller system. So this is the mix set, which I think I'd probably describe as the starter set, because you get both sides of handles, all three sides of mini rollers themselves, and the storage tin. So the idea is you basically choose the roller size for your application. As I said, there are three different sizes of roller. That's the same one. Where is he? There he is. That goes there. Where is he? It's that one. There he is. Good. Okay, so you get to across the range. There's three sizes: the mini, the midi, and the maxi. In each pack, you can buy those separately on the store. You get a shaft with an installed magnet. So when you do put this onto the actual roller itself, it stays put. That's how it attaches. These are freely. You can get the without any problems at all to switch rollers, and across the store as well there are refill packs for each size when you kind of run out. So that's the mini roller system. As I said, I saw this a few months ago, and I've been talking to the manufacturer, and we really wanted to sort of bring that to the UK just to sort of show it to you guys, because it could be something that maybe you've been looking for and just didn't exist. When I saw it, I thought, yeah, fantastic idea, because it's got so many applications. I've been using this regularly, particularly for dioramas, to put down large amounts of paint and other materials. And of course, that's kind of I guess the advantage is that it's not just a paint system. Don't think that. If you want to put down, say, top coats or even primers, you could roll epoxy resins if you wanted to. Any kind of glue that you want to put down, white glue, PVA, for instance, that kind of thing. Anything that you could possibly use with a brush, you could probably roll with this. And I really like the innovation. I thought these were just sponge but they're not. They're Teflon coated, and that's the kind of the innovation. That's how it keeps the paint on the surface until you roll it, and then the static releases that onto the surface, because that's then released for the actual painting that you do, or the rolling you do, because it's not just painting, is it? So that's the mini roller system. I just think it's one of those interesting things that you kind of think, well, I might have an application for that, or it might be something that you've been looking for a long time and couldn't find. It just didn't exist. Maybe you were trying to do this thing with those mini rollers you can get for decorating, and of course those are just way too big for the kind of scales that we're using. So that's the mini roller system. So any questions, any queries, as usual, do come back to me.